I ask for the truth on behalf of Pamela Logie concerning whether she's going to meet someone. And ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth, always. And we just cut the deck there for you, Pamela, and we'll just pop them down here. We'll deal 3 cards just to see what's been going on, what's happening now and what's possibly about to happen, potentially. Of course, you still have power over the future, don't we, in some respects. I've got a sort of feeling here, be careful what you wish for, you might just get it, don't know why. The first card we deal is representative of your recent past. I usually say about a moon phase behind here, Pamela, because you don't want to go sort of too far behind, and of course the future is a moon phase in front, isn't it? About 3 or 4 weeks ahead as well, in the sense of 3 or 4 weeks behind. And of course with Pamela there, Pamela Logie in the middle, right now we deal out that future card there concerning this little issue that you've got here. Of course, because you asked a question, we know it's a relationship-y type question. Maybe we're feeling lonely and I don't know. Or maybe we've been in a relationship and lost out there, and now as we see our friends in relationships, we're sort of left out on our own. And I don't know what it is. It could be anything, couldn't it? But let's see what it is, no further ado. So the first card we deal, of course, is that recent past, isn't it? The moon phase behind, as you would say. Let's just flip that card nice and slow there, not to disturb the energy too much. Oh dear. We've got this coming back again, haven't we? We've had this in a previous reading earlier on. You've got the Raven. Seems to be doing his rounds. The Raven does in this relationship scenario for people just lately. I don't know what's going on there, but his energy, he's there, certainly doing something. Darkness has been on the horizon for you there concerning relationships, and yes, I would hazard a guess that that maybe you've been hurt, or something of some import or whatever has taken place that's disrupted something there just lately. Let's just see what's going on now, though. It's not what happened in the past, it's more, as you can't define yourself by what you did in the past, can you, Pamela? But you can define yourself by what you're doing now, can't you? The energy of serendipity, there's an interesting one, in the sense that bright new prospects are on the horizon for you right now. So gone from darkness to something bright. Of course, if you shine a light in the darkness, you can see it a bit brighter than normal than if you try to shine an extra light when the sun was up or whatever. So maybe the Raven is there, of course, to carry your soul from darkness into light. Maybe that's what the Raven is doing his rounds for, just lately for some people. That would be easy to assume, although one must not assume, of course. But the energy of serendipity, of course, bringing a bit of hope, a bit of optimism anyway, to situations. Will you meet somebody? I suppose if there's a chance of meeting somebody, it will be now. I would say, I don't know why, but I just somehow feel, I got a sense that it might be something to do with a New Year party or something like that, that you finally sort of meet whoever it is you're expecting. Of course, you shouldn't really expect anything, should you really? Because your hopes can be dashed when you don't get what you want. This card for your immediate future is the Wolf, and that, I suppose, in a way, be careful what you wish for, you might get it, and you might not get what you want. Of course, trust issues there. Beware who you trust. Of course, beware who you place your trust in. Is it worth placing our trust in somebody just for the sake of saying, well, I've got somebody now, so I'll just do anything and just believe anything, just for the sake of keeping this person on board, or what? I don't know what this is about. I want to pull some runes out here. We were doing some runes earlier on. I somehow want to pull some runes just to see what's going on, what energies. What's the energy of the Raven, the ice, as you know, the ice freezes and then it thaws out eventually again later. Delay, a recent delay. That's the darkness on the horizon was in the form of a delay of some kind, in the form of relationships freezing over, or whatever. Maybe a current relationship freezing over and delaying itself. I don't know. But I got a funny feeling. I thought that might have been like the end of something, but certainly it would have delayed matters. It would have slowed things down a hell of a lot, and you may have found yourself in some sort of limbo. Yes, the Haglas there. Haglas, disruption right now, although you got serendipity there, indicating that there are bright new prospects on the horizon. Nevertheless, it's overshadowed with a bit of disruption, maybe because of the delay. The disruption. Isn't that a strange thing there, really, to sort of have that, I suppose, conflict of interest really going on right now, in the sense, although there's so much optimism, so much to hope for, and so much, so many prospects on the horizon for you in meeting somebody, nevertheless, you've got this slight problem here of something disrupting, somebody upsetting the apple cart, maybe. Beware who you trust, of course, with the rune of with the Perthrow there, the cup. I suppose you should view it like that in a way, the cup that the dice goes in. But of course it's viewed like that, isn't it? In my case, because I'm reading it here, it's viewed for me like that. In the sense of, yes, beware who you trust, you're taking a chance, you're taking a gamble, you're casting lots, maybe at that New Year party or whatever it is. So because of the disruption, of course, that doesn't help right now. The disruption right now doesn't help, regardless of the fact that in the background there is that bright new prospect of something there, but nevertheless it's overshadowed with the Wolf. Just warning you that beware who you trust. You're taking a chance, you really are taking a gamble on this one, and of course, what are the odds on nevertheless you could come out on top? We don't know, but what are the odds? What does your intuition tell you? Maybe that's what it is. Let's just pull another card just to see if there's any sort of insight into that. And there, oh, you've got the Knight, triumph over adversity. That's an interesting development for you. So it looks as though maybe the gamble may pay off. Let's pull another rune out just to see what the Knight is overshadowed by. Well, energy, the death rune there, just indicating the situation coming into to an end. The gamble may pay off. Triumph over adversity, bringing an end to maybe that disruption and that delay. Maybe does it bring an end to the bright new prospects? Of course. But either way, it's triumph over adversity, bringing things to an end. So it depends, doesn't it, what the death rune represents. But things will come to an end. Around about February, it will end the situation as you know it now, and it brings change, of course, doesn't it? That's what death does when somebody dies, isn't it? In the sense that grandma isn't around anymore, or dad or mother isn't around anymore, so we all have to get used to the change and things like that. That's probably why death, of course, represents change in that way. But triumph over adversity, Maybe if it does mean that the gamble doesn't pay off and it's an opportunity to move on and be free and to end this you can move on and divorce yourself, literally in that sense, divorce yourself from the disruption and the delay, and make something for yourself. But of course, if the gamble does pay off in that sense, that it's that the knight is triumph over adversity, of course, it's an end for the batter. So maybe I somehow feel, I don't know why I'm saying this, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I'm sort of thinking that this person you meet on New Year, yes, there's a gamble, but there will be triumph over adversity in the sense of it's going to be a short-term thing, and it's going to come to a sudden end, and the adversity, as you would say, or whatever, is this problem with trust. Beware who you trust. And it's going to be a short-term thing, and obviously the bright new prospects on the horizon now is speaking of something probably maybe somewhere around March or April, but of course one is overshadowed with the disruption in one's life, of course, with the gamble. It's nice to take a gamble, nice to take a chance, but it will come to bring things to an end, triumph over adversity. Of course, death is a release, meaning that you will be released from this and be able to move on and get somewhere, I suppose, a bit better than before. So yes, isn't that just the way things are, just bloody typical, as you would say. So with that we say, blessed be to Odin, and of course these cards for you, Pamela, have now spoken.